The Let Me Be Frank podcast is proudly sponsored by Glenwood. Glenwood are the UK's leading construction industry debt recovery agency.
Remember, no win, no fee with Glenwood Debt Recovery.
Find out more at glenwoodconstruction.co.uk. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Let Me Be Frank podcast with myself, Simon Houston, Frank McAvenny, and wow, we've got a great guest for you. Someone who's back in Scotland for a couple of weeks' holiday, visiting family and friends, and it's Bobby Williamson. Bobby, thanks very much for joining us.
You're welcome. I thought you forgot my name there.
How could I forget?
You were just buying time.
You were just buying time, he came back, yeah.
No, we've never actually forgotten a guest's name yet, have we?
No.
Sometimes I forget your name, Brian.
Aye, I know, you get that, but that's all right, that's all right. I've been called a lot worse. So how are you, Bob?
I'm good, I hope.
Aye.
I've been trying to look after myself recently.
Is it working?
No special reason. Just get fed up watching Netflix and Prime Video.
Aye.
So I've started doing a bit of walking now. Walk for an hour most mornings.
To the pub?
Do 6K, so I'm quite happy with that.
So do you try and do the number of steps every day? Do you do 10,000
No, I don't
steps?
count. That's a load of nonsense, honestly.
Just do them.
I time myself, and I know how many metres I'm walking. So if I just do slightly over an hour, I know I'm doing 6K.
Aye.
So that's good enough for me.
And you try and kind of walk uphill rather than
No,
down?
enough of stuff.
I'd be doing that on the golf course. That's what we do on the golf course.
I don't do the golf, but to be honest, but I
You
do
never
avoid
took
the
it-
hills.
Never took the golf up?
Never ever.
Surprising.
Never ever.
You
But
love it.
Well,
You would love
you
it.
kind of grew up in the same place as I did. I
Aye.
grew up in Easterhouse. If you had a golf club, that was an offensive weapon. You got arrested.
I know, but we used to steal all the balls up at Little Hill. Remember up Loch
I
Ern?
know Lamb Hill.
They used to hit the ball over the top, and we used to steal the balls and then sell it back to them at the 9.
That was a bit like me up in Castlemont. Used to coach your kids on a Wednesday. And if a ball went near the fence, you had to go after it sharpish.
Aye, dude.
And I remember one time, before we get started, I put all the balls in the back of the net and the goal. And I'm watching them and I'm talking to the kids and I'm telling them what we're going to be doing and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, there's a group of guys, kids, behind the net. And I'm thinking, they can't get them. Next minute, I'm seeing them, they're dwindling. I thought, there's a hole in the net. So I started chasing them down this steep hill. And it's a big grass area and there's holes everywhere. They must have been planting trees. So I've chased them down and they run into the screen and I thought, I'm not getting in there.
You can't.
So I started walking back up and I'm finding all these balls in the holes and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
So I got up, counted the balls at the end of the night. We had one more than we started with. Queen's Park, must have been training, had a Bobby QP on it. So I gained the ball.
That's good. Aye.
So before we batter on and talk about all the great moments of your career, just for any, we always do this for younger viewers and listeners who maybe aren't as familiar. So Bobby Williamson, striker, played for Clydebank, Rangers, West Brom, Rotherham, Kilmarnock, manager of Kilmarnock, won the Scottish Cup. Last time Kilmarnock won the Scottish Cup in 1997, Bobby was in charge. Managed down south at Plymouth.
That's good.
I know. Chester, and also went over to Africa, which was a massive thing for a British football manager in those days. Went over and managed the Uganda national team. Then managed a Kenyan Premier League club, Gor Mahia, and who he won the league title with, and then became manager of the Kenyan national football team. You think about it, that's quite an
achievement, really, isn't it?
I certainly got a bit.
So that would have been 2008 when you were over?
2008 I left to go to Uganda.
Aye.
And
you're still living in Kenya at the moment?
Yeah, I was 5 years in Uganda. I met my current wife. I'm saying current. My last.
Is that because of the companies?
I met my last wife in Uganda and I discovered she was Kenyan and we relocated back there. She was working with Amnesty International, deputy director at the time. So she kind of ran the whole business in Uganda. But we're closing our office down. So it just coincided. I got a job in Kenya and she had a job in Kenya. And we've been there ever since.
Right.
Superb.
So, what's 2008 when you arrived there? You obviously didn't know anything. Let's be honest. You wouldn't have known much about life in Africa, what you were expecting. I think you saw an advert for that job. Is that right?
No, I never.
No.
No.
Did someone tap you up?
I was in between jobs again, and I know Shaba Laszlo was a Ugandan manager. And he got a Hearts job. I never applied for a Hearts job because being ex-Hibs, there's no way that could happen. And I noticed he got that job, so I phoned my wee mate, an agent. He's African, but he lives in London, wee coffee. And asked him if he knew anybody in Uganda. And like typical agent, I know everybody kind of thing. I said, yeah, okay, get me an interview. So he phoned me back in a couple of hours and says, yeah, we're going to meet him in London on Friday. I said, I don't want to meet him in London. What's the point of meeting him in London? I want to go to Uganda. I might not like it there. I might agree terms in London, get there and not like it. So he changed it all about, phoned me back again. And he goes, okay, we're going to Uganda Monday. He goes, you need to go and get all your inoculations and all that on Friday. Cost a fortune. I said, he better not be taking the mickey out of me after getting all these inoculations. So we went over.
So
that was it, easy.
Obviously, it would have been many years after the Idi Amin regime. But was there anything about Uganda at that point that was his kind of shadow, if you like, still lurking, or was it a completely different country, do you think, from what?
Totally different. I don't know like it is now. As I said, I've been out of there since 2013, I think I left Uganda. But it was a huge culture shock. That was my first time in Africa. And I remember arriving there and we stayed the night in the hotel. Next day, they're supposed to meet at 2 o'clock. We're all suiting up and we're tired. It was roasting, absolutely roasting. We waited there for about 2 hours for the Ugandan contingent to turn up. And that was just the start of it. Once I got into it, I realised everybody's late. They're never on time. So you actually try and acclimatise to it and make yourself a wee bit later as well.
It's not a rude thing, is it?
I'll see you 2 for 5:30, kind of thing.
Something like that. I was just thinking, I've not really seen any of the place. And they've offered me the job. And the money wasn't a big interest, to be honest. I wasn't getting paid anyway, so I was accepted anything we were going to offer. And I said, I need to see the place. I need to see your ground, the training, the offices, blah, blah, blah. Show me about the place. So as usual, they were late that day to turn up. And at 7 o'clock on the dot, maybe slightly before that, pitch black. Cannot see anything. No lighting, nothing. And they showed me about it and I'm like, I can't see anything. So I went back to the hotel and said to me coffee, I said, look, I don't think I can take this job. And he said, well, it's up to you. You're the one that's going to live here. And I said, nah, I don't think so. But that night, we got bumped off our flight. We coffee hadn't confirmed our reservation. So we got bumped off it and we had to go back the next day. So we stayed overnight in Entebbe. Wee bed and breakfast, mosquito net. Since first time I experienced a mosquito net. I slept my clothes on the top of the bed. Woke up sweating. And so I got up in the morning about 7 o'clock. Put my shorts on, flip-flops, sat outside, read my book. Coffee, he's African anyway, he's still in his bed. So eventually gets up. We take a walk around, we go down onto Lake Victoria, onto the beach. People are really friendly. There's not another white person that I could spot. And the people were very friendly. And I thought, I had to change your mind. I said, get hold of that president, making arrangements to go and meet him again. So we did. And I said, I'll do your last 2 games in the AFCON. They were up there, they were challenging. If they'd won the last 2 games, they'd have qualified. And I said, I'll do the last 2 games and we'll see how it goes. Then we can maybe talk about a contract. So that's what happened. And I'm glad I went to see him again.
Fantastic.
Change your life being over there. You must love it because it's so long you've been there now, isn't it?
Totally. Uganda is much hotter than Kenya. It's only an hour's flight from Kampala to Nairobi. Wow. But it's night and day.
Kenya's got quite a kind of... There's highlands and so on in Kenya, isn't it? It's quite mountainous. In Kenya.
What about it?
I'm saying it's quite mountainous.
It can be in places, aye. But you get everything. If you go up north, there's snow on the top of these mountains. It's really, really cold at times. And if you go down to Mombasa, you're on the Indian Ocean. And it's really hot and it's lovely. So you've got the best of both worlds. You've got everything in one country, really.
So did it take you long to get used to the food and just the kind of standard of living and so on when you were there first?
It did, because when I first went over there, you get slung into a hotel and you're left in your own devices. And I was pretty apprehensive. As I said, okay, when you're training, you're working in the evenings, you don't want to leave the hotel, you don't know where to go or nothing. I started going to a place just round the corner, an Italian restaurant, and it was okay, but I was always trying to get back early, because I never seen any white people at all. No. So I was wanting to be, I know, I was a bit naive as well. So I'd always get back to the hotel at a reasonable time, and then I got a phone call for a Scottish guy, boy called John Hamilton, he works with the British Embassy. I can't remember what he was doing. He says, you fancy a beer? And I said, I'd love a beer. I goes, where can we go? And he goes, there's plenty of places. And it was just round the corner, not too far. There was a sports bar called Just Kicking, shortened to JK's. There was quite a lot of expats in there, guys from South Africa, even Europe, England, Scottish guys as well, working in oil. So once again, with a crowd, I was fine.
Aye, suddenly becomes a home for home quite quickly.
It was, but I remember one time in this Hotel Africana, it was called a lovely big place, and we've not got a game. There's nothing happening. I've not got an office, so I'm left to my own devices. So I've got my book, I've got my Speedos on, I wade into the pool, and I'm lying there, and people are walking the back with their suits on and all that, going to conferences and stuff. And I'm lying there, I phoned my mate, Jim Dock, I don't know if you remember him, Frank.
I know Jim Dock,
So I phoned Jim Dock. I goes, I don't think I can handle this. I'm so bored. And he goes, what are you doing? I'm just lying at the pool here reading my book. How's the weather? I goes, oh, it's busting, it's hot. And he goes, what would you do if you were on holiday? I'd be lying at the pool reading my book. And he goes, well, shut up. I'm freezing back here. I'm going to work. It's pitch black. My deep mister's on and everything. And you're complaining.
Oh,
and he goes, what have you got back here? And I goes, fair enough, I've got nothing. I've not got a job, nothing. So I hung it in. Thankfully, I did hang in. And but it changed everything.
I would imagine that you were well qualified for over there. You'd be the most experienced coach of that over there. They would know.
I had all my European licences and everything, Frank. I'd done it when the Premier League managers were all doing it for the first time. The Walter Smiths and Archie Roxys and all these guys were doing it. The Alex Smiths and all the top league managers get put through it quickly, and we did quite well. Well, we did really well. They kind of gave us it basically. There was a Dutch coach came over to have a look at me training. And I'm wondering, why is it just me? How do you know what all these other coaches? But we done it, and by all accounts, we all passed it.
Yeah.
And as I said, that kind of helped me travel a bit easier, because you had to have all that stuff to go into Africa and stuff like that.
Have you took anyone with you from here? No, just use the coaches over there.
I thought I had to get to know the culture and know the people, and I thought the best way to do that was having local coaches run about me. That's
exactly what Postecoglou did when he came to Scotland as well. Didn't bring anybody with him. Didn't know an awful lot about the Scottish game.
But knowing Celtic, that would have been, because you never got offered anyone with him.
Well, I'm pretty sure he could have. Pretty well,
well, I don't know, because Eddie Howe was talking to him. They wouldn't let anyone bring Eddie Howe.
I think Eddie Howe wanted to bring like 50
staff.
people with him though.
Nah, I wanted backroom staff, but anyway.
You used to finish there.
Sorry.
Sorry, carry on.
So you never.
No, I never took anybody over. So the Federation of Uganda, they gave me coaches, a couple of guys, and guys were all right. But I know why managers do take their own coaches, because they trust them.
Yeah.
I don't know what these guys were saying behind my back, but I was confident in my own ability. I couldn't care less. I could say whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
And I worked away with the local coaches. And as I said, you do need these guys around about you to get to know people, get to know the players and whatever. There's a lot of tribalism goes on in Uganda. Come from different tribes, different villages and all that stuff. And that's why they usually go with foreign coaches, because we're no influence with that. We don't have any pressure.
Sure.
Where people from our village saying, you've got to play this one, I've got to play that one.
Yeah.
I was immune to all that.
And it's of no interest to you, that stuff.
It was the same in Kenya as well. Didn't have to bother with that. But local coaches, they don't get those jobs.
And also, I'd imagine too, that places like Uganda, Kenya, they'll not just be local cultures, there'll be local dialects and languages.
I never learned a word.
No, but
I learned how to order a beer.
But that would have made that would have made it easier for you to make that decision. Well, there's no point me learning this or learning that. Let them learn English and I can then communicate with them.
See, the way I looked at it is, these guys had to be able to understand me verbally. Because if they wanted to go to Europe, if they could understand me, they could understand anybody in Europe. So I used to keep drumming that into them. Pay attention, listen to the words I'm saying, don't listen to my accent, listen to my words. And some were getting it, some weren't.
But any phrases you very quickly had to tell the defenders, for example, like, get the body fuck, that kind of thing,
You just swear there.
We're allowed to swear. We draw the line at the C word, let me be frank, but the occasional F word.
We'll get to the referees in a minute. You can swear there.
But I was just wondering, about things in your first match in charge that you maybe really had to get across.
First match in charge was really difficult. We were playing Niger away in the AFCON, and David Aboa was playing with Hearts at the time. So he kind of understood a lot of what I was saying. But what really disturbed me was the pre-match rituals, and the night before the game, they're all drinking sodas and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, sodas? That's no good. That's going to give you false energy. And then it gets exhausted quickly and you can't replace it. So we played the game. First half, we're looking really good. I've never seen them playing before. I goes, we're looking quite sharp. I think David Aboa scored a goal. Actually, we're 1-up. And I'm looking at my defenders, and they're all 6 foot plus, and they're big guys, a good pace, and I'm thinking. And I went into the dressing room at half time, and I said, look, guys, I'm concerned. I goes, I don't see where they're going to trouble us. Usually I can see that you need to be careful on this side or that side or through the middle. But I couldn't see any weaknesses in their team. And I think that concerns me. The second half of the minute, we get gobbed 3-1. And I come in after the game, I says, what happened? Oh, it's really hot out there. And I said, you're Africans. I goes, it's really hot for me, but I was being naive because they weren't used to the heat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they travelled. There's quite a lot of international players playing in Europe. Like David Aboa was there. Sakaja was in Austria. With a guy in Egypt, South Africa, all over the place. And so I said, so what happened? And that was it. They were exhausted. They were outrun. And I remember saying to Aboa in a meeting, I says, see when you're playing with Hearts, do you drink sodas before games at pre-match? Oh, no. What are you doing it here with the national country for? These guys are watching you and think that's all right. But the young boys, they were all drinking. Their eating habits were terrible as well.
Yeah.
So was he maybe thinking because he was away from out from under the gaze of Hearts, or whether he could pretty much his back with his mates, he could do what he wanted, kind of thing?
I think he did because everybody loves a soda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you can't get a beer, that is. But
of course,
we're playing football, and as I said, even Sakaja was drinking sodas. He's with Red Star, Red Bull in Austria. And I was saying, this is not right. So I banned that immediately. I said, look, no more sodas, 48 hours before games, 72 hours even. No more sodas. And we played with First Sekafa. It's a tournament with Central East African teams. There's about 11, 12 teams maybe. And they invite a couple of people, not even in the region, a couple of people, a couple of other countries. And we played in Kenya. And, first tournament was in Uganda. So we're at home. And we done really well. We won the thing. But in the final, the pre-match, they're having pre-match and it's chips and all sorts of stuff. And I'm thinking, we're in the final. I can't change it now, can I? I said, just let them carry on with our eating. And even after that, you can't change your eating habits because some of them are living in poverty. The local players as well, the local players especially. International players, they ate well when they were abroad with their teams and that. But the local boys, they just ate what they could get. And you can't educate them to eat the proper stuff that gives you fuel and energy. I'm thinting, they're running a bit all right. I don't think you need it. So I never changed anything. And when it came to the eating habits, what I was insisting on was their timekeeping. And that used to drive me crazy. And it still does, even now. That's why I was here 15, 20 minutes before I got. And I remember the first couple of training sessions, they're all coming in, just walking in with they fancied. And I said, that's enough of that. I said, if you're late tomorrow, you can't find them. They've no money. You're running after training. And I used to start training at 10:30, but I'd tell them to be there for 9. And they would still come in at 10 o'clock and stuff like that. They're ready to go. Ready to go for half time when I'm ready. And I only train for an hour and a half. Same length of time as we played a match. Warm up and into your basic stuff. And we done that. And a couple of times the boys come in late. I made them run after training. Used to give them a coffee. Remember that one? You run for station to station. It kills you. That's how it's called, a coffee. And I would give them that. And I'd make sure the other ones were hanging about to watch it. Because then they'll be thinking, don't want to be late tomorrow. The traffic is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. But I could get there on time. There's no excuses for you not to get there on time. You've all got an alarm clock on your phones. And you've all got phones, I've seen them. So set your alarms. If you think it's going to take half an hour, set it for an hour. And make sure you're not late. And we got a few results with that. But every other meeting you went to, I'm talking about the big wigs. These dignitary guys, they would all turn up an hour later. They'd be sitting there for ages.
I'm just thinking, Ally McCoist did go well in Africa.
Coisty did doing well there. He'd be brilliant. Coisty, he'd be brilliant over there.
So, just what fitted in right well. So much to get through and so little time, as is always the case in this podcast. But so the big chapters in your life and your career. I think about Rangers initially. So I'm right in saying, was it about 83? Was that when you joined Rangers? Were you there for 4 years, just ahead of the Sooners revolution?
I was still there when Graham came, but I wasn't there long when Graham came. I was one of the first at the door. I remember actually, I got a phone call from him. He's never spoke to me. He's been there a few months. We'd been to pre-season in Germany, and I managed to get a game out there. He actually, it was a sub. It was a big playing area. It wasn't a stadium.
Yeah.
Playing against a local team. I don't know who they were, but they weren't very good. And we were playing a game, and he said to me, before the game started, "You're going on at half time." I was thinking, okay. So we're messing about, we're passing the ball to each other behind him and all that. Half time comes and goes. I'm waiting for the shout, never goes. Now he turns around and goes, "I told you were on at half time. Am I supposed to take somebody off?" That's your job, boy. And he goes, "Get yourself on." So he subbed somebody. And I can't remember the big goalkeeper we had at the time. He played with England and all that.
Chris Wood.
That's the boy, Chris Wood. So
My pal.
he put Chris in their goal. That's their coach to swap it about, because Chris was the first half they never got shot at a goal, so they put Chris in. And they were pretty poor. And I managed to get through 1-on-1 with Chris, and he comes out, and I chipped him. He was raging. He was raging.
Keepers don't like that.
He gave me dogs abuse after he goes. He goes, "You wouldn't have done that in a proper match." I goes, "It doesn't matter, I've done it."
Exactly, aye.
Aye.
Oh, brilliant.
But, so the next time I heard from Graham was a phone call. West Brom are looking for a striker. Go down, have a look about, let them see you, see what you think. I don't even know where West Brom is. I goes, how am I going to get there? And he goes, "Jump in your car and get down the M6 and blah, 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 blah." So the wife comes home for work, and I tell her I'm going to West Brom for trial. I'll see you Saturday. And she goes, "How are you getting down?" I goes, "I'm taking the car." "No, you'll know. I need that for work." Had to phone Laura back at the club. "You need to get me a ticket to Birmingham." So I went down, trained a couple of days. Didn't really show a lot, I do a lot. And runs on, I says, "Going to offer you a contract, 10k signing on, 100 more than I was getting paid at Rangers, and then appearance money." Kick your pen. I was supposed to go back and have a discussion with the wife, but I thought, it's my career. I was selfish out there, I really was. So I signed it. I'm looking forward to meeting Jimmy Nicholl. I've not seen him yet. And I got a phone call at night, "Jimmy Nicholl, Bobby, can you bring my boots up?" I said, "Where are you?" I go, "I've signed for Rangers." It was a swap deal, but nobody mentioned. So I got away back up the Friday. We were the play. The season hadn't started down there. So I went away up on the Friday with Jimmy Nicholl's boots. Went into Ibrox, cleaned out my closet thing. It was on a pair of flip-flops that was in it. I had ready to take my boots. So I'm walking back out the door. I've said goodbye to everybody I knew, the kitchen staff and all that and whatever. And I'm walking out the door, and Graham's coming down the staircase. "Bobby." I turned around. I was surprised. I never heard him use my name before. And I turned around and it was him. So I went away over. And he goes, "Just want to wish you all the best. You'll have a great time doing it. Lots of clubs, move about a bit, make a lot of money, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "I'd like to wish you all the best as well, because I'm still a Rangers supporter."
Yeah, of course.
"And I hope things work out for you here. I really do." And he says, "Well, you're more than welcome to come up and use the facilities, train me, whatever." And he must have seen a look at my face. I'm thinking, I never even spoke to him. And he said, no, seriously, I think you're a good guy." And he goes, "There's lots of people going to be moving out of here and they won't be invited back." I thought, okay, thank you. But I thought, there's no way I'm getting back. I'm out the door, I'm away.
Of course.
Pasture's news, so I just went on, mate.
Right, a quick word about our brilliant sponsors, Glenwood Debt Recovery. If you run a business, especially in the construction industry, and you're fed up chasing unpaid invoices, these are the people you want on your side. Glenwood are specialists in business-to-business debt recovery. They work properly, professionally, and they've got a long list of very happy clients who've had their money sorted quickly and fairly.
That's right. If you do the work, you deserve to be paid and get paid on time. Simple as that.
So if you want to find out more, or you need a wee bit of help with a tricky customer, just head to glenwoodconstruction.co.uk.
And don't forget to tell them Frank sent you. He done the same with Jimmy when he was releasing Jimmy. You know, and he said,
"Do you know something?"
He said to Jimmy, we've got Gary Stevens,
That's
was
right,
it?
aye.
He said, "We've bought Gary Stevens," and Jimmy Nick says,
that was his first one.
"I think he's too good." He went, "You're right, that's where you're going."
You know something? We played a friendly match against somebody. I think it was a Dutch team, and they slaughtered us down that side. The right back, whoever was playing, get terrorised. They must have changed that a couple of times. Then I think that's when Graham thought, I need a right back. So he needed a right back man and needed me as a striker. And Ron Saunders needed me, who was on less money than Jimmy Nicholl. And that was how I think the deal was done, because Jimmy was going to probably double the wages I was earning, because they came down for the top division.
Aye.
I didn't realise they'd been relegated. I thought they were still in the top division. I never looked at it.
What year was that? What year was it?
That was 85, 86.
86, because I think when I was at West Ham, I think we relegated them. We played them at West Brom. West Ham beat them 2-1.
You might have put
the last might have put you down. I think it might have been.
I don't remember. But we had a lot of top players, but they weren't getting a game because they had to get out. Quite similar to what I was at Hibs, so I had to get rid of all the top players.
So when you come back up as a manager, then everybody thinks, when they think of Bobby Williamson, I certainly do as a manager, I think of winning the Scottish Cup with Kilmarnock. That was at Ibrox, wasn't it?
Aye, Hampden was getting refurbished.
That's right. So what's your recollections of that day? I mean, you're still a hero among the Kelly fans for that.
I did come back as a player. I played for a few years before I was chucking it. And then I went into coaching and unfortunately found myself in charge in a caretaker capacity. And Alec Totten never really got the credit he deserved that year, because he managed two teams actually got to the Scottish Cup final.
That's right.
But to be fair, he never managed any cup games with Kilmarnock. He managed Falkirk for the very kick-off for the cup, as I managed Kilmarnock.
Yeah.
And we both got to the final.
I also remember he was wearing the kilt.
I was looking at him and I'm thinking, is he overdressed or am I underdressed? I've only got a flower in my belt. And Alex got the full gear on. And I was quite happy with just a flower.
Aye, quite right. I wouldn't have worn it. I've never worn a kilt. Never wore it. I've never worn one.
I have. And I'll tell you right now, you think it's going to be a bit breezy. Sweat is running down your thighs.
I know.
These things are heavy. Because years and years,
way back,
I used to wear them to sleep in the outside. Hot.
You can't wear anything under it, so that rules me out, you know.
So do you still get the red carpet treatment at Kelly? For do you ever get a chance when you're home to go to Rugby Park?
If I'm back home, I usually go every year. I've been invited down, thankfully, and they give me great hospitality. They wheel me out onto the park at half time to acknowledge your fans.
Superb.
And there was just this year, I'm thinking, I'm not getting back. Don't want to be walking out there again. There's people there that weren't even born when we won the cup, and they're in their 20s. And before that, it was 65 years before Kilmarnock had won the league, the Scottish Cup before. And I'm thinking we'll win it again next year and all that stuff, but we get kicked out in the first round with United. The year after that, we get kicked out in the first round again with United. So, and now it's been, I don't know, 27, 28 years since we won that cup.
Now, one of our first guests, earlier guests in the podcast was Scott Brown. And I'm going to show you a wee clip here, actually, because we asked, because obviously Scott's now manager at Ayr United and so on, but we'd asked him who his first manager was.
Bobby Williamson.
Good education that'd have been.
Bobby gave me the. Bobby was brilliant, to be fair. I still speak to Bobby now.
But Tim was asking me, he's brilliant, and he's got a wicked sense of humour.
He never told me you were asking for me.
He used to come in and him, Jerry McCabe and Barker, the three of them, so it was like the three musketeers.
Alright, brilliant.
And now me and Wits are taking it, so now he's slaughtering me, so it's no easy, wee man, is it?
He loved the referees, didn't he? Having a moan at the referees was brilliant.
You can't say much either.
I know. I used to apologise for him. I actually went in the offices, but got to apologise for what I shouted at you today. Because they're hopeless. Sorry, most of them are hopeless.
What would you like to manage at 16?
That was brilliant. No. No, I had a lot of energy, shall we say. And we played Livingston in the cup final. It was about 2005.
You missed a sitter.
And I remember we beat Rangers Celtic going on the lead up to that, so we've managed to beat Rangers at Hampden. I scored a penalty. Who'd have thought that? We shanked one bottom corner. Klaus was going to put it top corner.
If you don't know where it's going, Nick, what chance the keeper got?
Yeah, you should know that I can't put one top corner. So shanked one there, had a lovely celebration, wee lap, then managed to beat Rangers, which was great because we were a young team. We were very naive, but we were good to play, and it was all mates coming through, which was brilliant. And then go to the cup final a couple of days before it. Bobby's like, none of you stupid persons.
It's right.
You're alright. Won't get any daft haircuts or anything daft. 2 days later, I've turned up with a fucking mohawk. Big red mohawk. Right, so I'm standing there, Bobby's going, you can see his face going, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. And then Deke saying Tomo with everything, highlights here, there and everywhere. So we got beaten. I was on the front page of the paper. So it wasn't great. It was not a great start. So hey, you learn from your mistakes.
I know.
I went to Magaluf afterwards. I dived in the pool and red hair dye went orange.
Brilliant. The boys were brilliant.
Aye. So that, I mean, that was quite a wee crowd of young players at Hibs at that point. So obviously Brunei,
We had a lot of young players. But see, when I was managing Kilmarnock, I tried to get the John O'Neills, the Davids, the Tellys and all that, but we couldn't afford them. And they all went to Hibs, and then when I went to Hibs, I couldn't afford them again. They had to go. So we had to develop youth, and thankfully we had a lot of good youth players come through. John Park and Alistair Stevenson, I think the boys' name were. They had a good bunch coming through, and I was right up for giving them a chance, like I did with Wee Beggy and Burkey at Kilmarnock and other young boys at Kilmarnock. So I had no problem throwing them in, but the hard part was leaving good experienced players in the stand. The fans couldn't understand it, and I couldn't tell them it was a cash problem. Rod Petrie was trying to control the wages, and he told me, he was quite straight up front. He said, all your big players they've got to move on.
Sure.
Lauren somebody went to Celtic, fullback, can't remember his name, and Delacruz went to Aston Villa. And he was gradually getting rid of all these guys. When I first went to Hibs, there was 10...
Was it Ulrich Larsson?
Larsson,
aye, that was him.
Big player.
Aye, he was in the Seville run for Celtic. I think he was on the pitch in the final.
So the guys were all getting emptied out, and we had 10 different nationalities in that dressing room when I went. See, if you ask me now, I couldn't tell you 10 countries. Off the top, I couldn't. And we had to try and sort all that out. It was too big a squad. And plus, Rod was wanting them out anyway. So it was easy to develop the Kevin Thompsons, the Whittakers.
You remember, was it famous five? Was that the famous five? Was it
Aye, there was five.
Was that you?
Right up in the corner were there. Now, these guys weren't a problem in their training. Honestly, not a problem.
My biggest problem is I never get invited.
but when you see, if you look now at Scott Brown, or if you looked at his career at Celtic, captain in the Champions League, and then become a manager, did you see that in him when he was a teenager?
I never did. You know, the great thing about putting Scotty and Kevin Thompson into the team was their enthusiasm. They buzzed a bit all over the place. They wanted it. They wanted their opportunity. And I think the fans kicked in a bit. They were thinking, wow, this is our own boys. So they grew up with the team and supported the team. Well, Scotty was a Rangers fan, to be fair. Hope he doesn't mind me mentioning that.
No, he told us on the... But everybody knows that anyway.
So the first time I came across Scotland, we're doing pre-season up at Arthur Seat. And we've marked out a run. It's a big run up the hills and back down and all that stuff. So big mix of part of line, and they'd asked to train me as to keep fit. And I said, yeah, sure, go, join in. So we set him off on a run, and I'll be standing at the end with a stopwatch on the phone talking to agents and blah, blah, blah. I see this wee guy coming out of the crest of the hill, and it's Scott Brown. And he's sprinting down the hill, and I've seen this big guy coming out of the crest of the hill, this big mixer. So they came running down, and wee Scotty came running past me. I stopped the clock. I said, did you cut the corners? Are you cheating? No, Gaffer. I know, stick to the course. So big mixer came down. I said, what about him? Did he cut the corners or anything like that? No, he goes, he was always on my sides, but I couldn't catch him. And I thought, if this boy can play at all, he's getting in. He's getting in. And I watched a lot of reserve games, and I think it was just during the course of the split, I thought, he's getting in, I'm going to give him an opportunity. We didn't know where to play him. He was playing wide right at the time, and then I played him up front, and just told me to run about, put defenders under pressure, get chances, try and put him away. He scored a wonderful goal against Dundee United, left-footed, outside the box, top corner. Wow. And I thought, this boy's a player. And as I said, it was their enthusiasm, their energy that really thought to me, really gave me the thought that they've got a chance. Their Riordans, their Connors, they're always working late in training. We only had a minibus and some of the guys were driving their cars because we didn't have a facility.
Sure.
And we had to all get back. So you were pulling A2 off the park. Come on, then you get back. The rest of the boys are cracking up, we used to. And they were in the huff because they wanted to keep training. And I wanted to keep training, but we didn't have a facility. I would be putting markers down in a park area. And I turn around, the guy taps me on the shoulder and gives me them all back. He's picking them up behind me. Here's your markers. Can you train here?
Before we start to think about wrapping up, a quick reminder, everybody, please hit subscribe on YouTube, follow us on social media, Instagram and TikTok.
It's all free.
And it's all free. Another thing we were keen to ask you about was obviously you became Kilmarnock manager, and there was an infamous day. I think it was at one of Ally McCoist's many curtain calls. I think it was going to be his.
That's what I thought as well. Too many curtain calls.
But there was pressure on you. You're in the Kilmarnock dugout at Ibrox, and the Rangers fans are singing for him to come on.
Yeah, it was a very unique occasion. I don't think it's happened before. No. And I don't think it will happen again. The opposition are singing for a player to come on. And we're getting battered. Rangers have played really well that day. We've not really performed. And they're all starting to chant his name. And I said to Frank earlier, if they hadn't been chanting, I might have put them on. But because they were chanting, I've got 200 Kilmarnock fans over there who've paid good money to come up for Ayrshire. And I'm thinking, if I put him on, I'm going to get dogs abuse for kowtowing to Rangers fans. And I sympathise with it. I used to be one. So I knew how they were feeling, and they all wanted to see Ally. But I'm thinking myself, they'll have plenty of other occasions. He's old firm games, and they'll be able to see him again anyway. Anyway, he went back as a manager.
That's correct.
And he managed the club. But I did feel it. And as I said, at the time, I just couldn't do it.
Did you speak
because to him? I would have got slaughtered with my own supporters. And they were foremost in my thoughts. I've got to think about them.
Correct. Of course you have.
Rather than 50,000 Rangers fans.
But the advocate didn't help you though, did he, in his post-match comments?
Not at all. I couldn't have seen him putting on a player. If the Rangers fans were shouting for a player in the dugout, he wouldn't have put his own player on. And I remember way back at the time of Jock Stein, I'd be in the jungle, and Jock Stein when they put a player on because the fans wanted him on.
Of course.
And when I started supporting Rangers, Big Jock or Willie Waddle wouldn't put players on the supporters were shouting.
But he came out, I think, after the match and said, yeah, it would have been nice if McCoist had been put on. Did advocate not say that?
Advocate said that, and I'm
let him go.
That's good coming for him. He released them. He wanted Ally out of there before he got there. And then he's telling the other manager he should have put him on. What disappointed me about with Dick was, you used to have to wait for him. They beat you. You used to have to wait for him at the tunnel while he shook hands with everybody in his bench and all that. When I won a game or lost a game, I shook hands with the opposition's manager immediately and then shook hands with my staff. I didn't want to keep him waiting about if we'd won the game. And the only time he never done that was when we beat him 3-0 at Ibrox. He came up and shook my hand and disappeared up the tunnel. But Dick Advocate never ever spoke to me. Never wouldn't come in for a cup of tea or nothing. I remember at Rugby Park, Mr. Gregg came in. The manager would like a cup of tea, and is there any way he can have a cup of tea? And I goes, tell me come up. Oh, he won't come up. I goes, what's wrong? Tell me come up. He can sit there and have his tea and can have a chat. No, he wants his own privacy and all that stuff.
You
need to have it in the dressing room, and I've not got a place for him. And later found out we had a new medical centre built in beside the Rangers dressing room. He was sitting in there drinking his tea. Never communicated with anybody. How are you supposed to learn from anybody if you don't talk to them?
That's odd, isn't it? That's strange.
Yeah, I found it very strange.
You told us a funny story before we started recording, talking about the young boys at Hibs, and another one was Tam McManus. It was,
you want me to repeat that story?
I go for it. I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure he won't mind, because we're going to get him on the podcast at some point.
Coming on, he's good.
But this will be fun. And by the way, I'm sure he's not the only player that pulled this stunt.
Yeah?
I'm sure he's not the only player that
I know. He's too thick to have worked it out himself. He must have seen somebody else doing it. But Tam was great to work with, honestly. He was great in the dressing room. Always having a laugh and all that. You need that about the place. Especially when times are rough and you're losing games. You need somebody to come in and lift it. Jerry McCabe used to do it for me at Kilmarnock and Hibs and wherever we went. But Tam used to do that. He was a good guy to be about. But we couldn't get him fit. We'd be training during the week, and a Tuesday was usually a really hard working day. Give him time to go over the weekend. And Tam would always break down. He was throwing up. He couldn't do any more. And we'd play him in a game, and just after an hour, he'd be indicating he's ran his course. And then you would take him off, and the fans would be booing, because Tam was playing quite well, but they don't know he was knackered. And Tam would be looking at the crowd thinking, why me? I'd be raging. I said, get in there. Get in there. So we played Celtic at the quarterfinals, and as usual, he's ran his course and I subbed him. And he's got his tracksuit on, it's cold night. Tracksuit, jacket, the lot. 5 minutes to go, I noticed Tom's take your jacket off. Watching him. And clock's running down. And it's getting close to the final whistle, and I seen the tracky bottoms coming on. Final whistle goes. Tom right on the part, jumping all over everybody. And I'm thinking, he's thinking about photographers taking photographs.
Brilliant.
And he'll be in the papers with no tracksuit on as if he's played the whole game.
Brilliant.
He was clever that way. And he's proved to be clever. He's on these programmes and he's making a career out of it.
He does that. He's on after dinner circuit now, and he's telling all the stories of it.
I just wish he'd applied himself a bit more. He was a top player.
Aye, good player.
Scored goals at Ibrox and Parkhead, top corners and all that stuff.
All the players were good, talented boys, the young boys coming through.
That's what they all had. They all had that ability.
Yeah.
And as I said, when they were working, they were working. But off the part, Derek arrived, and I don't know much about his family, but they're a bit of a wild crowd by all kinds, and it's his family. He's out there, and things happen. But, never had a problem.
One thing we both wanted to say was thank you for coming on. I don't think you do many podcasts, really, you know, and you might have had offers to go on other podcasts, but you were saying it because of the man here.
Thanks, most definitely. I seen him on Saturday and I was winding him up, said, don't invite me on that, I'm not getting on. Because I've seen people on that and I've not seen them for years and they look dead old. How old do I look?
Well,
you look great.
I thought, I'm not getting on.
Do you know, well, listen, that's actually a good subject for us to maybe finish on, because you look fantastic.
Yeah, you look great.
And it's no secret you've had your health battles with the cancer that you've fought back from. Must have been a hell of a scary time for you, because obviously you were overseas when that happened as well. And
do you know something, Simon? When I was first diagnosed, I knew I had a problem. I had a tumour in my nostril and I couldn't breathe. And for blowing it, picking, whatever, I couldn't get rid of it. And then I got operated on, and the doctor told me it was cancerous. I had to go for treatment, radiation, chemo. And I went to Delhi in India for 3 months, and I got 30 odd radiations, which kind of killed this left side of my face. You know, I can't grow any hair here, so I'm trying to trim it and make it look
even.
Make it look even. It's a mess. I know it's a mess, but it covers up most of my face. So it's
listen, since you mentioned that, I hadn't even noticed that, and I still don't really know.
It's staying anyway. I'm not shaving it off. So I went there, and the weight was just dropping off me. I couldn't eat, couldn't do nothing, and when the professor told me that it was cancer, I jokingly said to him, well, I lose my hair. I was like this. I said, well, I lose my hair. And he just looked at me dead pat, maybe a little bit. And I never thought it was going to die at any time.
No.
I really never. But then when I see photographs and whatever, and how I felt at the time, I probably could have been on death's door, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful to get through it. I hope it doesn't come back, because it's an extremely aggressive type of cancer I've got. And the doc said if it comes back, you're finished. So hopefully it won't come back, and I'll just keep moving forward.
But I suppose you're living your best life at the moment. You're still in Kenya. It seems as though you're
I'm retired now.
You put weight on, so
forcibly.
it's a good thing you're putting weight on, which is a good thing. It means,
I have. I try to keep it just around about the 80 mark. I was way up over the 90s at one time.
Yeah.
And I dropped into the 60s when I had the cancer, so I managed to get it back up.
Yeah.
But it's easy to put on weight in Glasgow.
Yes. You can maybe use one of those reverse Manjaro jabs, you know. Instead of losing weight, get a jab to put weight on.
Aye.
But this has been great. I wish we had more time, just with the way the studio is. Sometimes we're short of time, but this has been an absolute pleasure. And we always say to guests, if you're back again, come back in. Maybe we can have more, because it feels like we only scratched the surface with some.
I've had his number for ages, but I never phoned him. He never phoned.
Did you? But I meant to ask, did you guys you play against each other?
Aye, we were in about the same time.
I played with. That was another story I wanted to tell you.
Go for it. If you can make it quick.
Just a quick one.
Aye.
We're playing St Mirren at Love Street, and Macca's playing. I'm not playing, I'm up with Ston. And Big Ted McMinn's coming on. He's warming up. He'll probably remember it. Big Ted's warming up, and Big Ted's a busy boy. Couldn't stand still for 2 minutes. So he gets on, and we've got a corner. Rangers have got a corner, so he sprints right into the box. He picks him up. I don't know why you picked him up anyway. He picks him up, Big Ted runs away out with the boys getting taken for the corner. He's with him, he's following him. Big Ted runs all the way back to the back post, he's still following him. Big Ted, honestly, he never stopped running.
Aye, that was me.
Macca just go like that. Through his hands, they stopped. He's lucky Big Ted never gone to Bobby. He chucked it.
He didn't stop.
He chucked
Just
it.
kept going like that. And I'm
He
going,
always used to say
he never even looked at the
He
ball.
was running
He
everywhere,
just kept
the bus on
running.
me crossed.
Yeah.
He's just shaking his head.
Was telling him
I
the
was killing myself.
was he know the classic? Well, if he doesn't know what he's going to do, how's the defender know what he's going to do?
I'm going, Stark, he's no fucking stop running.
The guy
Big
was
Billy
non-stop,
Stark.
honestly. See if the game finished, right up the tunnel. See the time we get to the dressing room, he's coming out the shower.
Incredible.
And he's ready before we've got our clothes off. He's just 100
I was
mile
like
an
getting
hour.
to London on Saturday night, that's why.
Well, listen,
Probably it was, probably.
we'll need to leave it there.
Yeah, no problem.
So, absolute pleasure. This has been
No,
really,
I quite
really,
enjoyed it.
really
Thanks, mate.
enjoyable. And
Thanks.
Kill a bit of time before I go to the pub.
exactly, you're away to meet some old teammates. I think. Aye, is that right?
Aye.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try to see as many people as possible.
You seen me, Durante?
Tell
Tell me answer his phone.
The game
Tell
on
me answer
Tuesday.
his phone.
I'm
Tell me
going to
answer
see
his
him a
phone.
day, I think.
Well, you can.
But
well,
you never know with Durante.
I
Well,
know.
tell him from us that it was hopefully a nice experience, but in the
I'll have a
podcast
look
studio.
at it.
Brilliant. Right. Well, listen. Thanks again, Bobby.
Thanks,
And
Bobby. Cheers.
we will.
Cheers, guys.
Brilliant.
Hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll catch you again for another episode of Let Me Be Frank very soon. Take care.
Cheers.